Good evening, everyone. My name is Folu Olatona. I'm presenting this webinar on incorrect perceptions regarding weight loss as part of my PhD thesis. And I hope that at the end of this presentation, you will recognize why it is difficult for people to lose weight. Many people really try, but it's difficult for them to lose weight because they don't really know the correct methods of doing so. They're following incorrect perceptions about weight loss. You should also be able to identify unhealthy methods of weight control. It's not just enough to recognize why it's difficult. You should be able to know different wrong methods that people use. People use different wrong methods. One of them is fad diets, and the other one is quick weight loss solutions. Slimming aids, tablets, syrups, all other kind of things that people do to be able to lose weight. Then you should be able to identify the general effects of fad diets. When people eat wrongly, they're following a wrong type of diet, or what is called yo-yo dieting by scientists, or fat diet. What happens? Why is it not prescribed? Why are we against fat diet? You should be able to know that today and be able to explain the specific risk associated with each unhealthy method. So I'll run through different unhealthy methods of losing weight, and then I'll mention the risks that are associated with each of these methods. Weight loss refers to a reduction of the total body mass. So there can be a loss of fluid, body fat, or lean mass muscle. When the total body mass is reduced, then we say there is weight loss. But remember that weight loss will involve loss of fluid, adipose tissue, which is the same as body fat, or lean mass, which is the muscle. So weight loss occurs when the energy intake is less than energy expended. Remember that even though energy intake should be less than energy expended, it doesn't mean that you should starve. I've repeated that several times in the course of this training. It doesn't mean that you should starve. Don't starve yourself. What you're expected to do is to eat right, eat balanced diet. You are not expected to avoid food or to skip meals. You are supposed to just eat what your body needs and eat from different food groups. Those who are involved in dieting, especially those who practice the wrong methods of dieting, after some time, find it difficult to lose weight because the loss of muscle mass and other adaptation processes in the body reduce the energy needed for metabolism. So when the energy needed for metabolism is reduced, even though they're not eating much, but they are also not expending much energy, and therefore the body tends to just remain the same and they cannot move forward in the weight loss journey. When people start a diet, metabolism can reduce as much as 15% within 2 weeks of starting a diet. So you know that when you are planning to lose weight, following one special diet might not be the solution. What is expected is that you eat balanced diet at the proportion that the body really needs, not more than your body needs. And that means that you must always combine it with exercise, because that's the way you can burn the excess energy that you consume with the nutrients needed by the body. The truth is that the amount of food that an average person needs to be able to supply sufficient nutrients will almost always be too much in energy. There is no shortcuts. You must eat, and the amount of food you need to eat that will supply the nutrients needed is likely to supply more energy needed, more than the energy needed by your body. That means there will always be excess energy for those who eat right. And that means everyone should be involved in exercise. You should do you should get engaged in exercise. Drastic reduction in food intake reduces metabolic energy needs, and that's counterproductive. So when you're trying to lose weight, don't reduce your food drastically. Just reduce gradually. When you eat and you're satisfied, then you stop. You don't eat extra, but you shouldn't follow those who say skip meals to be able to lose weight. So weight loss is difficult because many people set unrealistic and remote weight loss goals. If you want to lose more than 10% of your current weight and you want to do it fast, you are likely to be practicing a wrong method. If you are practicing a method that involves avoiding food, but you are not told to do exercise, no physical activity challenge, that kind of method is likely to fail because of what I had explained earlier. So any method that is correct would involve physical activity. It will involve a lifestyle change. So you need to embrace the methods of losing weight as a lifestyle. All the things you have learned in the course of this training, please practice them continuously. Don't stop. Don't think that after the 12 weeks training, then you will just be losing weight magically. No, you have to continue what you have been practicing that has helped you to lose some weight. You must continue practicing all of them to lose more weight, and most importantly, to maintain the weight that you have lost. Because anybody can lose weight, really. Anybody can lose weight. If you decide not to eat, just drinking water, or maybe you're even eating vegetables, yeah, we will definitely lose weight. There is nothing technical about that. So what is important is to be able to maintain the weight that you have lost. And for you to achieve that, you need to practice the right things. You need to continue to practice the right things. Make those methods of losing weight a lifestyle. And now I want to talk about the fad diet. Weight management industries have come up with different kind of diets, different ideas that have been proposed to guarantee success. Many of these are classified as fad diets by scientists. So a fad diet is the kind of diet plan where you eat a very restrictive combination of food continuously with just few foods in the combination. And many times the combination is an unusual one that you are not used to. We are told to practice it for a short period of time. And on that kind of diet, you lose weight rapidly, definitely lose weight rapidly. But like I said, the challenge with such methods is ability to sustain the plan, ability to sustain that method, and ability to sustain the weight that have been lost. That ability does not exist in that method. It's difficult because it's restrictive. You are not used to it. It's like punishment. So it's definitely not sustainable. Most people get fed up with the restrictions, and because they are fed up, they throw the diet into the bin. They can't continue it. And as long as you don't continue the things that made you to lose weight, you would start gaining the weight back. As soon as you start and you go back to your old lifestyle, definitely gain the weight back. So all those perceptions that make you to just take a type of food for some time and you are not taking other food groups for that period, those types are wrong and they're not going to be sustainable. They're not going to help you to maintain the weight that you have lost. It's a big problem when people lose weight and they cannot sustain it. It can even lead to more problems because you are creating a bad effect on the body. When you lose weight, you you gain it back, you lose it, you get, it's like your body now becomes like a sack that expands, retracts, expands. That kind of system is not good for the heart, and it can lead to other health challenges. So it's very important that you know that this yo-yo dieting that make people lose and gain weight can result in heart problems, and this is not desirable at all. If you are trying to lose weight and in the process of losing weight, you now develop a heart problem, it's not good. So it's better that you practice the right method from the beginning. In history, there have been different kinds of fad diets. For example, there was a 65-year-old man who had a BMI of 35 and was prescribed a diet free from sugar and starch by his doctor. He followed the diet, lost 24 kilograms by eating meat, vegetables, dried toast, soft eggs, and at the end of his weight loss journey, wrote a book and sold thousands of copies. This is very close to Dr. Atkins' diet, which involves eating a lot of animal-based food and avoiding carbohydrates. So judging from that fat diet, when you do it at the beginning, you can lose weight, but many people are not able to follow through. They are not able to practice it continuously. So they kind of backslide in their decision and gain more weight than they even had at the beginning. There was also another man called Horace Fletcher, the great masticator, who proposed that chewing prevented overeating and ensures good health. So his proposition is that you should chew your food until it becomes liquid, and then that way you will not be gaining unnecessary body weight. There have been many fad diets in history, different types of fad diets in history. And it's good to know that these fad diets, some of them have been shown to be effective for some time. So it's not as if one can throw all of them into the bin, but there are some good things you can pick from them, like the one that was prescribed for the 65-year-old man, which is similar to Dr. Atkins' diet. Shows that anybody that really wants to lose weight would have to reduce carbohydrates. But that does not agree with those who say don't eat carbs at all. That would be wrong, because balanced diet, the rule of nutrition, the law of nutrition involves that you eat, the law of nutrition states that the balanced diet involves eating carbohydrates up to 55% of the total energy intake in a day. So if that's the case, you cannot strike out carbohydrates completely. You end up taking too much animal-based diet, and that can lead to other challenges. So when you are trying to lose weight, don't just close your eyes and practice anything that makes you lose weight. It's very important that you look at other effects of that decision. For those who, for example, those who practice Dr. Atkins' diet might end up eating too much meat, which can result in too much protein and have effects on their kidneys. You shouldn't solve one problem and create another one. So advanced methods have been practiced in history, like obesity belts. Some people believe that you can wear one type of belt and the fat will just melt away. Reducing cream, bath salts, vibrating table, menu adjustment, and different kinds. There have also been fat doctors. People practiced weight management for clients and give them pills. Only few of them would even examine the person that wanted to lose weight before they prescribe pills. Some people have also proposed getting slim by electrical impulses, in which case the person that wants to lose weight lies down and the specialist in quotes apply some machines and electrical impulses to lose weight. So different things have been done, but it's very important that you understand the principles of weight loss so that you don't fall into the wrong hands and practice the wrong things. So I'm going to be showing you effect of, mentioning to you the effects of fat diet. Fat diets can cause some health problems because they cut out key foods. So they can cause dehydration, weakness, fatigue, nausea, headaches, constipation. Those are the things that fat diets can cause. They can also cause inadequate vitamins and mineral intakes. For example, if you decide to just be eating egg and meat and you don't take fruits and vegetables because you believe that there's carbohydrates in fruits, that person can suffer eating hunger. That's inadequate vitamins and mineral intake. Fat diets that severely restrict food groups or nutrients may also mean that you miss out on the protective health effects that one gets from eating a balanced diet. So please understand that whatever method you choose to practice, it's important that you eat a balanced diet. And that's why it's safer for you to follow the things that I've been teaching you during this weight management training. They are the correct ideas that are supported by science. So scientists support the things we're learning on this platform. And it's better to practice this, eating a balanced diet, combining with physical activities and avoiding unnecessary energy. As long as you avoid eating unnecessarily and you're not eating junks, it may be slow, but you will achieve your weight loss goals. How would you know a diet that is a fat diet? There are ways of recognizing fat diets so that you're empowered to avoid them. Diets that recommend energy intake of less than 1,000 calories per day is a fat diet. So any diet that tells you eat less, the amount of food that you eat would supply less than 1,000 calories per day, that is a fat diet, because the minimum amount of energy for eating healthy while we are still trying to lose weight is 1,000 calories per day. Any diet that assures you of fast, easy, and significant weight loss in a short period of time is a fat diet. So if that diet plan is guaranteeing you more than 1.5 kilograms per week, that you will lose more than 1.5 kilograms per week, that is unacceptable. It's a fat diet. When success is guaranteed without any effort, hardship, or self-discipline, so somebody promises you that if you practice a particular diet, you don't need to do exercise, you don't need to do anything, just avoid a particular food group, and then you'll be losing weight. That kind of diet is going to put somebody in trouble. So it's better you avoid that kind of diet, because the food you are eating or that you refuse to eat will contribute to, we add to your body. So if you refuse to eat a certain amount, that means the amount you are adding to your body is not much. But the fat that is already there, how are you going to lose it? By exercise. So for you to lose the fat that is there, you need to expend energy. You need to do something to your body to be able to lose the fat that already exists on your body. Number 4 is when a diet places emphasis on increasing, decreasing, or leaving out specific foods or food groups. So if a particular diet says don't eat meat at all, don't eat fish, don't eat egg, no animal food at all, you need to be careful. Or a particular diet says no carbohydrates at all, that is a fat diet. That's like saying what cannot be sustained because it's not realistic. Another one is when emphasis is placed on not combining certain foods because they cause health and weight problems if combined. So if all that the diet offers you is just don't combine this, don't combine that, it's not telling you what is junk, it's not encouraging you to do exercise, that alone is not sufficient for you to manage your weight. Yes, it's good to combine food well. It's good to eat fruits alone and not eat it with cooked food, but that alone is not enough for you to lose weight. So the claim that certain food components or magic formula, pills, drops, melt away fat in some inexplicable way is also a pointer to a fat diet. Injections with all sorts of wonderful effects. Because all these fat diets are effective initially, but they cannot be sustained for life. That way, you know that they are fat diets. Another thing is that they do not address the reason why you even gain weight in the first instance. There is something you do that made you to gain weight. So whatever diet plan you now decide to practice should encourage you to stop that thing that you were doing. And that's why in this program, we emphasize eating healthy, physical activity, behavioral change, functional thinking. We emphasize that you replace negative thoughts with positive ones, that you have positive self-talk and make efforts to do what is needful to bring your body mass index to a healthy range. That's what we are emphasizing in this weight management program. So that brings me to the idea of how would you know a healthy weight reduction program? There are specific things to look out for that scientists have agreed on over the years. So you need not be afraid of practicing what you are learning on this program. What you need to do is to ask yourself whether we're following these criteria, that you can be sure that it's a healthy weight reduction or weight management program. So before you start a weight management program, evaluate your health. It's very important. So you will know whether the program is helping you or is not helping you. It's very good that you evaluate your health. A healthy weight reduction program would involve the following. Healthy eating is number one. Healthy eating, you need to eat right, and that would mean eating from all the food groups. You take some fruits, vegetables, roots and tubers. All the food groups are necessary for you to eat right. You avoid junks, you drink enough water. I've taught you details of what healthy eating means. So please go back to foluolatona.com and watch the videos on healthy eating. But for the purpose of today's webinar, I want to emphasize that for you to eat healthy, you must balance the different nutrients. For example, energy intake should involve 50 to 55% of carbohydrate, 15 to 20% of the energy per day should be from protein, while 30% should be from fats. So you cannot strike out fats totally because you don't want to lose fats. Yeah, the words sound alike or they are the same words, but doesn't mean that all the fat that your body stores is from fats and oil. No. Carbohydrates can be converted to fat in your body. So don't run away from fat totally, just take it in moderate amounts. Healthy eating includes all the varieties of foods from all the food groups. I've emphasized that. It must help you to develop a healthy eating pattern permanently. That's a special characteristic of a healthy weight reduction program. I remember when I was trying to lose weight about 11 years ago, I practiced this healthy weight reduction program, and because of that, I have sustained the weight loss over the 11 years, and my lifestyle had changed since then. So it wasn't a diet that I practiced for some months and now went back to old lifestyle. No, including quantity of food, timing of food, eating fruits and vegetables, all that have been modified over the years. Healthy eating pattern would consist of at least 3 main meals spread throughout the day with a healthy snack in between. Don't follow people that say you should eat one main meal in a day. Decreasing alcohol intake, increasing fiber-rich foods, and involving individual energy recommendation that is never less than 1,000 calories. So that's healthy eating as the first pillar of a healthy weight reduction program. The other one is physical activity. Remember, I told you that you must do exercise for at least 30 minutes per day, 5 days a week. Even if all you can do is walking, walking is very important. It might look like you're not doing much. Just walk briskly for 30 minutes and keep accumulating 30 minutes every day. You will change your body and improve your health. Behavioral change is also important. So if you have a behavioral pattern that is fueling your weight or is not allowing you to lose weight, then you need to change the behaviors. Maybe you are lazy to exercise or you like eating junks. Just watch whatever behavior is making the weight control difficult or impossible. Functional thinking, replace negative thoughts. Thoughts of I cannot do it, is difficult. Oh, everybody in my family is like this, there's nothing I can do about it. You need to replace those negative thoughts with positive thoughts and encourage yourself. For healthy weight reduction program, you shouldn't lose more than 1.5 kilograms per week. Very, very important. Because if it's more than 1.5 kilograms per week, that means it's too much and your body is going to react to that. The program should also be socially acceptable and feasible. If a program is planned, you should agree in your mind that it's feasible to implement. Because if you think it's not feasible from the beginning, that person is already defeated. So it's important that it is feasible, and total energy intake must be lower than the total energy expenditure. I've told you the way to achieve that is to do exercise at least 5 days a week. So I'd like us to look at different types of diets and the major feature, the effect of the diet, scientific evidence, and other comments on this diet. So I'm starting with Dr. Atkins' diet, and I want to combine similar diets that involve moderate or low consumption of carbohydrates. Carbohydrate intake is, in this diet, the major feature is that carbohydrate intake is less than 100 grams per day. Can you imagine? 100 grams per day. And you're entitled to 120 grams of carbohydrates per day. So if you're not taking less than 100 grams per day, that's rather too small. And that is a feature of Dr. Atkins' diet. In this diet, fat and protein are not restricted. And the effects of the diet is dehydration. It causes water loss. It decreases appetite. There's also excessive muscle loss because they consume more of animal products. There's risk of constipation, risk of gout, and nutritional imbalances. Scientific evidence for effectiveness of Dr. Atkins' diet. It causes more weight loss compared to balanced and energy restricted diet within a short period. That's what has been discovered in 3 recent studies, that within a short period, this Atkins diet will definitely cause more weight loss compared to the balanced diet that I've been preaching to you. But after a year, if you compare the two groups, maybe somebody is practicing what we're learning on this weight management training, and another person is practicing Dr. Atkins' diet, eating only meat, egg, beef, chicken. I remember a child in my church was talking to me about his mom and said, this diet that my mom is practicing, it's a very good one. No, she eats plenty eggs, plenty meat. I like that kind of diet. That kind of diet that somebody will be eating a lot of eggs, meat, fish. It's very interesting. But what the person will lose weight immediately, but after a year, that person and another person that is practicing balanced diet, that is eating fruits and vegetables, roots and tubers, legumes, and all the food groups, there will be no difference between the two of them. So if there will not be any difference in 1 year, why practice that and then risk the effect of too much protein on the kidney? I don't think it's worth it. So there's total reduction in energy intake, but there is also water and protein loss. The weight loss is not permanent. And of course, this diet is expensive. To be eating a lot of meat, egg, chicken, beef, lamb is expensive. The other one, the next one is blood group diet. That's Dadamo's blood group diet. So what this proposes is that people who have different blood groups are supposed to eat differently because they absorb nutrients and handle stress differently. Therefore, it affects their health. So the diet is very restrictive because certain foods are prescribed for people in different or specific food groups. Many food groups are eliminated from the dieters' diet. There is no scientific evidence that backs up this diet to be effective or safe. Some people may improve their diets in the process or decrease energy intake, which may cause weight loss. So if people experience weight loss, might not necessarily be because it's good to follow this diet. It's just because such people have reduced total energy intake. I'd like to talk about Fit for Life diet, and they prescribe specific combinations of protein, carbohydrate. They don't combine carbohydrate and protein in the same meal. So what this diet expects is that you eat carbohydrates separately and eat protein meals separately, because they believe that the digestion is smoother if they are not combined together. It's not backed up by well-designed scientific research, because the range of enzymes are secreted when we eat. And we know that the ones that digest carbohydrates can be released at the same time with the ones that digest protein and fat. In this diet, milk is not allowed. And this can lead to low level of calcium and thereby cause poor bone development, poor bone maintenance, which can lead to osteoporosis, especially amongst women. increases fruits and vegetables intake and may increase fat. So this diet may end up increasing fat intake. There is another practice by certain people, which is use of herbal formula. Use of herbal formula. There are different kinds of herbal formula in different communities and locations. So this type of method, people replace 1 or 2 meals with high protein and moderate carbohydrates, low fat drink. So that is the herbal drink. Usually contains more protein, very low carbohydrates and fat. So this drink definitely is low energy drink, and other supplements can also be given. And it stands to reason that since it's low energy drink, somebody would definitely lose weight on this type of diet, because the person is taking low energy food in quotes, even though it's a drink, it's still food. Such people will lose water and they will lose muscle. This is not backed up by science because the formula have not been tested in well-designed studies. Not all the formulas have been tested. Some of them have been found to be balanced and safe. The only challenge is that such a method is not sustainable. For somebody to be living on one shake forever, herbal formula, herbal shake or protein shake, is not sustainable. There's another type of diet called X diet. The major feature is that carbohydrates does not make people fat. They think that it is fat that makes people fat, so they avoid fat. That's a wrong perception, and this is not supported by science, because balanced diet involves taking some fats. And science also tells us that when you eat excess carbohydrates, the excess will be converted to fat. So that's why that diet will not be effective. Because within this X diet, one of the components is that such people take a lot of fruits and vegetables. And you know that fruits and vegetables have very positive effect on health. So they may experience the benefits. But unlimited carbohydrates cannot be recommended. So the good thing about X diet is that because the people who take such diet, they consume a lot of fruits and vegetables, they get the advantages of the fruits and vegetables, but the excess carbohydrates will still be converted to fat. And that's a disadvantage of eating excess carbohydrates. There's another diet, which is fat trappers and fat enzyme inhibitors. So what this does is like a drug that is taken and it traps the fats in the body. So because these people are confident that a certain drug is going to trap fat, then they eat anyhow. They eat whatever they want to eat, and they believe that the pill will go and deal with the fat. So they call it guilt-free eating, because fat trappers bind fat and prevents it from reaching the bloodstream. So in this diet, the number one effect is that there's sudden urgent need to defecate because there's fat malabsorption. And the fat malabsorption will cause sudden urgent need to defecate. There can be serious, bad smelling flatulence because the fat is not absorbed, it's just in the digestive tract. And then there can be leaking of excreta into the bloodstream. Low absorption of fat-soluble vitamins. because the fat is not getting absorbed, fat-soluble vitamins can also be compromised and will not get absorbed because they need the fat as the vehicle to be transferred. So if somebody wants to use fat trappers, the fat trappers are not the problem, apart from these effects of the fat malabsorption that I've talked about. Important thing is that the person should combine it with low fat diet. So don't say because you are using fat trappers, you consume excess fat and you are practicing guilt-free eating. That's like deceiving oneself. And then for such people, they need fat-soluble vitamin supplements because they're not getting enough fat into their blood system to be able to transfer the fat-soluble vitamins. There's another diet called GI diet. That's glycemic index diet. And I like to combine the discussion on that diet with use of dietary aids. So let me talk about GI foods first. Low GI foods within the context of a balanced diet are emphasized for GI diets. And that is a positive one if you decide to eat foods that have low glycemic index. That means the sugar will not be absorbed rapidly and the risk of storing excess carbohydrates and they becoming and storing it as fat to be reduced. So if you are eating low glycemic index foods within the context of a balanced diet, eating all other food groups, then it's fine. And then you remember to combine it with exercise. So that way it will not be a fat diet, it will be a good diet plan. Low glycemic index foods have high amount of fiber, which delay glucose release and absorption. High amount of fiber, which delays glucose release. So you know the effect of fiber now. That's why you're encouraged to eat foods that are high in fiber. This diet is proven to be scientifically sound. That's the low GI glycemic index diet. So it's you can follow it, you can practice low glycemic index diet. The truth is that if you practice the things I've been telling you during this training, you're actually practicing low glycemic index food diet because I've been encouraging you to eat roots and tubers, whole grains, fruits and vegetables, and all these have sufficient fiber for you in a day if you eat them correctly. So it's also good to know that the glycemic index foods do not have the power to just melt fat away suddenly like magic. The use of dietary aids and substances like apple cider, chromium, piconate, spirulina, guarana, caffeine, their major feature involve increased energy use in different ways. They improve metabolism, they melt away body fat. Those are the propositions or beliefs of people that use them. All the effects are not fully known for all these substances. Very few of the claims have been proven scientifically. So you need to be careful. Their use is not recommended. Be careful so that you don't run into another problem while taking some dietary aids. So then finally, I'm talking about appetite suppressant. That's the final one. Appetite suppressant works in different ways to reduce hunger. And when you're not hungry, you're likely to also reduce food intake. That's the major feature. So the effects, appetite suppressant can affect blood pressure and the functioning of the heart. And the drug can be addictive. That's a major minus for appetite suppressant. Scientific evidence, if the drug has been tested appropriately, it will be indicated on it. So for some, it's been tested, for some, it's not been tested. So it's very important that you avoid using appetite suppressant. Please avoid it. Don't use it without the advice of your doctor. So now you have lost weight and we are happy that you are losing weight. How do you maintain the weight loss? That's the last thing I'll talk about today. How would you maintain the weight loss? When people lose weight significantly, maybe they've lost more than 2 BMI over a short period of time, it's usually due to loss of glycogen, muscle mass, and water. So don't aim at losing weight suddenly, losing more than 2 BMI over a short period of time, or more than 1.5 kilograms a week. That kind of method, you are losing the important things that you should keep. And the fat that you should melt is not melting. So it's important that you follow balanced diet. Follow balanced diet. So to maintain the weight loss, balanced diet will help you to maintain it. And after some time, you will not even need to eat as small as you are eating when you are losing weight. So during this weight maintenance phase, you can even increase your food a little, just a little. But don't ever go back to the pre-diet pattern. Before I started losing weight, there was a way I used to eat. When I was losing weight, I cut it to maybe half of what I used to eat gradually, not suddenly. I reduced it 2 spoons, 1 spoon, until it became like half of what I used to eat. So when I had lost 20 kilograms and I just wanted to be maintaining the weight loss, so all I needed to do was to add a little, like 1 or 2 spoons to the plan that helped me to lose weight. For me to maintain, I'm no longer interested in losing. I'm just maintaining. So I just keep to the amount of food that is just okay. So don't go back to that double portion that you used to eat. Just eat the amount that helped you to lose weight, plus 1 or 2 eating or tablespoon. That's all you need. And please keep food intake records. Sometimes you think you are not eating much. I don't eat much. But you've taken sweets, taken a bottle of carbonated soft drinks, taking meat pie, and you didn't regard all that as food. Whereas they contain more energy than a bowl of eba. So record what you're eating so that you know where the challenge is and you can nip it at the bud. Weight maintenance will be impossible without exercise. So you need to do exercise every day. The recommendation is 5 days a week, but I say every day because even when you target every day, you can hardly make that 5 days. So it's better to just target every day. But if you started with skipping 1 or 2 days at the beginning of the week, you become very busy at the end of the week. You can't even do your exercise. So you end up with 2/5 out of the 5 days, maybe you do 2 days. But if you had aimed at 7 days and something cropped up and you miss 1 or 2 days, you'll still be able to score 5/5. Inform the people in your environment to support your attempts at maintaining your weight. Maybe your friend, if you're in school, your classmate, your roommate, to help you to support your attempt at losing weight. So it shouldn't be your friend or your roommate that will be discouraging you, telling you you are okay, you are looking slim, or it's too much, whereas your body mass index is 29. But because in the environment, people are used to round body as healthy. don't be dissuaded. Weight loss, I'm concluding now. Thank you for staying with me up till this time. Weight loss is not magic. So I want to encourage you, don't follow fad diets. Any diet that restricts food, some food groups, that restrict you from eating certain things at all. Diet that promise you to lose weight drastically over a short time. Diets that would not encourage you to make what you are practicing to be a lifestyle. That is obvious that you cannot make a lifestyle. That kind of diet is fad diet and is not healthy for you. But a healthy weight reduction program will include balanced eating pattern and permanent healthy eating pattern, physical activities and exercise, behavioral change, functional thinking, and positive self-talk. Also remember that any diet that is healthy should not recommend anything less than 1,000 calories per day. The rate of weight loss should not be more than 1.5 kilograms per week. The diet must be socially acceptable and feasible in terms of implementation. Most important of all, total energy intake must be lower than the total energy expenditure. Thank you for joining me for today's webinar. Do you have any question? Any question? Tega, do you have any question? Okay, nobody has any question. Please.
I don't have any question, ma.
Okay, please go ahead and ask your question.
I have a question.
Okay. Go ahead and ask your question.
Okay. So in the Fit for Life diet, you said that they have a specific protein and carbohydrate combinations and they don't eat them at the same time. Just that they don't allow them to have milk. So because of that, there's decreased calcium and it can predispose them to osteoporosis and all. They also mentioned something about increased fat, but I didn't hear what causes that.
Okay, I said that in that diet, they consume a lot of fruits and vegetables. And then they may increase fat intake. So some of them may increase fat intake. And you know that when people eat too much carbohydrates, fruits contain carbohydrates. So even if what they are eating is too much fruits, it can still be stored as fat. Is that clear?
Yes, ma. Thank you, ma.
Okay. Thank you very much for today. Please visit the website foluolatona.com, Folu Olatona Research, and you will see a lot of materials there. All the videos, the 10 videos are on the website. You can watch them, and then you can read the summary of the previous presentations. Please join me again next week. Are you promising?
Yes, ma.
Okay, so I will send notices again next week for the next lecture. Thank you. Bye.